Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today, we're going to talk about Bitcoin, a mountain to climb. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump in. So we know Bitcoin has quite the mountain to climb. Now, it has already surpassed some key resistance levels, namely the downtrend that we were in, at least on the daily time frame, that of course everyone and their moms were looking at. Basically, this downtrend line right here, we have obviously moved above that. So of course, all of crypto Twitter knows about it. But what's more interesting is on some smaller, some smaller time frames over the last couple of days, we have pushed past a couple of resistance levels that we've observed. Okay. Now, one of those was clearly getting just simply back to the $40,000 milestone. Think about how much time we kept going up to 38, 39K, and then we just got rejected back down, right? And it kept on happening, right? Up to 38, 39K, rejected back down. And then we finally moved past it. After that, the 40.7K level is certainly an interesting level, because the 40.7K level is in fact where Bitcoin broke down from when we fell back down just a couple weeks ago. You can see here on this line, this is where we broke down from. This was also where we were sort of holding support during this relatively weak phase over here. And furthermore, if you continue to go back, the 40.7K level on the daily is basically where we were holding as support back in September of 2021. And then you go back even further, you can see it held as resistance there back in the summer, okay, of 2021, and so on and so forth, right? You can keep going back and see various phases where this level has at least been somewhat important. On the daily time frame, holding some resistance at these levels, but on a lot of these instances, we did have wicks above, okay? But if you zoom in, Bitcoin has gotten a close above this level. Now, listen, I know a lot of people out there are looking at this and calling it a fake out, calling it a bull trap. And I will concede that there is a chance that could happen. But furthermore, first of all, once you've been in this space long enough, you also know that really there's no way to predict what's going to happen. You have a certain number of people saying one thing, certain number of people saying the other. Obviously, Bitcoin's going to do something, and then that group of people will claim they're right and say, I told you so. But I will say this, most of the time when Bitcoin starts to rally, most people are in disbelief, right? You just sort of assume it has to keep going down. And of course, we could go down, but I will say this, since the drop from 69K, this has at least been the strongest showing of the bulls. Okay, we have not seen the bulls show up as strong as this, at least since the drop from 69K. Now, Bitcoin, with all that said, it has a mountain to climb. So we're going to talk about some of the levels that we'd like to see get taken down. So let's go through and look at the key milestones that we want to be on the lookout for Bitcoin to take out en route to a theoretical new all-time high. Whether it happens on this rally or it has to happen in a different one is somewhat irrelevant. But we've already passed 40K, or 39, 40K, we've already passed 40.7. Clearly, the next one is just to get above the wicks from January of 2021. This was actually a pretty important milestone. We got rejected from it back in early January. You can see we're at the same level right now. I mean, on the daily, we have a higher close, I believe, but this is the same level, right? We're testing the same level that Bitcoin tested back a little more than a year ago, approximately 13 months ago. So the first step from this point is getting back above 42K and getting some closes above 42K. If we can turn 42K into support, then that's another point for the bulls, right? We want to count the points for the bulls. So, and we certainly have 1 point. You have at least a capitulation down here that took us down to 33K, all right? A capitulation wick. From here, you have, look, guys, an 11.5% move in a day. That's a pretty big showing. A lot of big positions were opened up. It's another point for the bulls. Getting above 40K, I think, is a point for the bulls. But really, let's just lump that in with the $42,000 level and say that the next point for the bulls will be getting back above 42K. All right, again, we have a mountain to hike here. Beyond that, the next level that we would like to see get taken out is, I mean, look, I know we had a bounce here to 44K. I don't really consider 44K to be that important. This was a pretty pathetic bounce that didn't really take us anywhere. So, I mean, no one's going to get out of bed for a 44K Bitcoin. But the next level, I would say beyond that, would be 46K. And the reason we talk about, or I think 46K is at least somewhat important, is because this is where we spent a couple weeks back over here, and we even had that bounce up to 53K from this level. But the 46K level has historically been at least somewhat significant, and maybe we would say 46 to 47, somewhere in that area, 46, 47K. We would like to get above that. Now remember, a lot of times these things it's a process, right? You don't expect you don't expect Bitcoin to rally to a new all-time high in a day, but it can be quite a long process to actually navigate this back up to the upside. Beyond that, we have, you guys know what it is, right? It's the ever-changing bull market support band, okay? And currently, if you're curious where it is right now, the 20-week SMA is at 51K. The 21-week EMA is at 47K. So these, these are pretty important milestones that Bitcoin needs to get past. And this is a pretty important boss to get past. I mean, yeah, you have the soft 42K level, you have the 46K level, but really you have this thing. And this is the hurdle that Bitcoin really has to focus on getting past, because if we come up and then we just get rejected by it, then we have to keep kicking the can down the road. Now, one of the things I mentioned with getting to the back up to the bull market support band and having a realistic test of it is, once you fall below it, it normally takes about 3 to 6 months is a typical range before you actually have a shot at getting above it. We saw it take about 3 months last time. It took about 91 days or so to get back above it, and so far it's been about 63 days. But we're about to wrap up this week. So yeah, if you measure it by weeks, we'll be at the 70-day mark. So what that means is that if we treat, say, a rough 3-month target as a conservative estimate for getting back above the 20-week SMA, then you're talking about late February at the earliest. Now, that doesn't mean we can't get above it before then, but if you were just looking at prior moves and saying, well, what is the most likely and optimistic scenario, it would be a continued slow climb back up to this 20-week SMA, 21-week EMA, which is still probably going to take a little bit of time to get back above it. Not to just get to it, but I'm talking about getting back above it. It normally takes at least 3 to 6 months. This is, of course, assuming you're not in some type of like macro bear market, which I don't think we're in. So from here, then, once you get above that level, you guys know the game after that, right? You'd like to get above it, then come back down, hold it at support. Bitcoin has a mountain to climb. Good thing Bitcoin is pretty good at hiking, if history is any indication. So it's an exciting time to see Bitcoin rallying back above 40K, but don't lose sight of how far we have fallen. The fact that we were literally at these prices only 2 weeks ago shows you how easy it is for crypto investors to let emotions rule. Because again, we were just at these prices 2 weeks ago. And furthermore, these prices were sort of seen as doomsday prices only 2 weeks ago. But because we're moving back up to these prices right now, everyone's a lot more excited. So I will say, try to manage your emotions during this time. There clearly is no reason that you need to be euphoric with a $42,000 Bitcoin, and you should just keep that in mind, okay? I mean, I hope that we break out here. I hope that we head higher. We also know it could be a long journey as well. So these are the levels we talked about, okay? So let's see if we can break above, and we'll be here every step of the way. So make sure you subscribe. If you're not subscribed, give the video a thumbs up. We have the premium list at intothecryptoverse.com if you want to check that out. You'll get access to weekly reports and videos, the Telegram alerts channel, the Telegram chat room, the risk dashboard. The website has a lot on it now: on-chain indicators, derivative charts, risk levels, ROI charts, all sorts of stuff. So check that out. And then we also do have, I'll remind you, we do have the this NFT. We launched 2 of them. The other one's sold out. I mean, other people now have it, so you can still get one, but from them. But this one has not yet sold out. We'll leave a link to this one in the description below if you want to get it. And the plan is if you hold this one and then the other one we launched yesterday, or no, we launched it today, but by the time you watch this video, it'll be yesterday. Then you'll be able to claim a free into the Cryptoverse NFT on May 3rd if you hold both this one and the other one in your address on May 3rd and go to claim it. So check it out. You'll find a link to this in the description below. Well, let's see if Bitcoin can put on its hiking boots and start taking out some of these levels. I know a lot of people are sitting here thinking like, yeah, it's a sucker's rally. There's no way this is going higher. And believe me, I'm full of skepticism myself. But I also know that if history is any indication, every rally that is sustained always starts with disbelief. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. I'll see you next time. Bye.